Today I'm going to aim for creating some landscapes again using simple washes. And these are ones I created just, I don't know, randomly recently. I think I might have done this one. Yeah, this is just on a piece of scrap paper. So that's where I'm heading. But I'm going to use these little pieces today, and I made myself a mark so that I can zoom in and not be off camera, at least not too much. And also today my big challenge is going to be the palette that I've chosen to work with. And it's pretty bright. I'm going to be working with some cerulean blue. Let's get some of that on here. It's on my brush here. Get some simple washes going here today. And I do have a fan in the background once again, but hopefully it's not nearly as loud as last time. It was 100 degrees. Today it's only 84. So that's the cerulean blue. Let's get that wash on there, and let's just do some pure washes here. Let me get the right brush. And then I'm going to use this Quinacridone red, which is really pretty bright. So I haven't really worked with these three colors much. And then let's see what we're going to use. Yellow is going to be, what did I pick for my yellow today? Cadmium yellow. And so this is again a pretty bright palette. So I will see what I can come up with for these. And right away, I want to just put some simple washes right over the top and see what happens. I'm going to put a little of this blue on top of here. This is the cerulean blue. See what that does. I like to mix my own colors, especially greens. I think that the greens straight out of the palette tend to sometimes be pretty harsh. Let's see what happens with this red. And I gave myself some marks so that I'm not working off screen. Red in here and see what happens. I'm working on a little 3x4 meat and watercolor paper, which I tried last week and I really liked. So we can vacuum some of that up. I come in with this. Oh, wait a minute, I want yellow, not more red. These are pretty bright colors here. I was thinking about adding a little bit of burnt sienna into some of these and see what else happens. These are pretty happy colors, bright summer color, especially this quinacridone red, and this cadmium yellow. Looks very bright. Okay, let's set those aside for a minute. And I'm gonna experiment a little bit more with, let's see. I don't know if this, I can't read the writing that I put on my palette from quite a while back. It's faded away. I think that I'm using burnt sienna here. I want to grab some more of this cerulean blue. And let's see what this mix, that's kind of interesting. Just adding some, that cerulean blue it's pretty weak in terms of, you know, creating darker darks. I was going to limit my palette to just the 3 colors, but I think I'm going to keep that burnt sienna in the mix, and then I think I might also bring in some ultramarine blue, because, you know, if I want to get some darker values, I think I'm going to need that. I'm going to stand up here and see if I can see if anybody's here. Oh, nobody. Hello, hello. You're the first person to arrive, I think. I was just saying I got to stand up and see if anybody made any comments. I'm going to pick some of this up. Take some of it out. I like that. Okay, let's see what's going on with this one. I'm still trying to make sure that I'm not bumping this. Okay. See what would be interesting to do with this one. I have this kind of violet mixed up here. I think I need quite a bit more of the cerulean blue in there. Maybe tone that down with some more blue glaze, but let that dry. Here's that sunny sunrise type, and I think I want to build off of that. I don't have any set subject. Well, I like to find landscapes in my work, so I think that's pretty much what I'm aiming for here. A suggestion of some kind of imaginary landscape. Maybe after this dries, it'd be interesting to come back in with a little bit of blue up there. Beach in the water, the beach in the ocean, maybe. Once again, if I want to try to create some, I'm going to go ahead and bring in some ultramarine to get something deeper in here. It's quite a difference in palettes here. Well, I'm trying to keep with the same colors, but getting some different results. It's still pretty humid here in Michigan, so things take a little bit of time to dry. And you know, you want things to, this was from last week, you want things to be able to dry so that you can kind of come back in and do, you know, more detailed work. Or you can just leave it like this one was, you know, the concept or the idea, generally speaking, of a landscape. I guess it could even be this way. So that's what I'm aiming for here. This is still damp, but maybe I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna glaze over it with that cerulean blue a little bit. A pretty light wash. I want to add quite a bit of water to it. Change that atmosphere a little bit. Still damp. I wanted to put in our ocean in this one, and maybe that's going to be, I think I'm just not going to get it with this cerulean. I don't know. Maybe I just need to go in and be bold. That's going to be green. For me to get a nice horizon line, I need to wait till that's dry, and that is definitely not dry. That definitely was still damp. Let's try something a little bit different. I'll just put some semi-clean water down here, and then let's grab some colors in here. Oh, I like that. I'm gonna let that one bit. And try the same thing again. Got about 8 of these here today. Oh, my water's getting muddy already. Let's see what else. And again, these are just mixed from the yellow and the cerulean blue. And then I've got this, oh, I just grabbed the wrong red. The wrong red. Don't want to introduce a different red right now. I wanted to get a violet going here. Using Quin red and cerulean blue. It's really, if you were going to do flowers or something, I think that this would be, that might be the one. Or a sky, a sunset maybe. I kind of like the direction that these are going by putting water down first. I'm going to just keep doing that. I've got 2 more that I have started, or I mean have left here. I could open another pack. It's got this magenta now. Okay, let's see what other combination I can come up with. Well, let's go with some really like, this bright, almost acid green. That's just the, that's that cadmium yellow with the cerulean blue. It's quite bold and bright. Oh, this is an interesting, I can get this other brown in here. And let's get that water back on here. It's a little cleaner this time. So if you're new to this channel, I really just like to come in here and just experiment with semi-abstract work. I think in about 2 weeks, yes, 2 weeks from today, I'm going to be doing a plein air landscape watercolor session because I'm going to be on vacation in northern Michigan. So I'm looking forward to that. Let's see, what else could I do in here? What else? I was using some of that ultramarine earlier because I wanted to get some, I'm moving away from the cerulean, the cadmium yellow, and the quinacridone red, just to do something a little bit different here. See what else I can do here. That's pretty. That's just ultramarine and burnt sienna. Just put a little bit of ultramarine in the sky here, pure. Or maybe it's sky, I don't know. I suppose it could be something other than sky. And oh, that's the wrong red. I put some, actually Quinacridone Rose on my palette and I keep grabbing it. It's not what I wanted. That's what I wanted, to add some red to that. Ultramarine and that burnt sienna. Got some really darker things going on here. I like that. Okay. Okay, let's see. I've been working for about 20 minutes here. Oh, hi. I guess I'm not talking very loud either. I was afraid to plug my microphone in. I think I'm just talking too low is what it comes down to. Sorry about that. These are some of the things that I've been working on with my limited palette today. And I think these are pretty fun. I would like to come back in here, but these are still damp. I would like to get some, I don't even know what the right words are. I would like to not have it blend in. I would like to define some images better with after it dries so that you could kind of see, maybe I could create more of a landscape effect by defining a few little, I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm rambling. I'm limited palette of Cerulean Blue, Quinacridone Red, and Cadmium Yellow, but then I ended up, because that palette, it's really hard to get, deeper values, so that's where this Ultramarine and the burnt sienna came into play right here, and then I added a little bit of Quinacridone Red into that. So these were kind of fun, but I'd like them to be, well, maybe this one's dry enough now that I could do something else to it. I apologize. I think I was just mumbling here today and not speaking up. I'm not exactly seeing particular landscapes here. I mean, I probably could look at it for a while and start to develop something. I almost see like a building there and something. I like the way this passage works right here. So this is starting to be lighter, and then there's this layer right there. I like that. Maybe I'll try to build off of that. Sometimes it's better just to stop. I think I talked about that a little bit last week. It's easy to overwork things, and sometimes it's better just to not do too much else. This is still really wet. These earlier ones are a little drier. But if you want to come in and you want to do finer work, detail work, I guess that's what I was trying to say earlier, and I was at a loss for words. I have another brush here that's tiny. Where is it? It really needs to be completely dry if you want to do fine detail, which I don't usually do, but every now and again, just a few little fine details is enough to suggest something, and then that's pretty much how I like to leave it. I like to suggest something, and then leave it up to the viewer to see what they see. And for me, as many of you may know if you've been here before, I I tend to see landscapes and things. Sometimes buildings or sometimes a more urban subject matter. I made myself a couple marks to try to stay in the shot. I think I've done better this time, but I still feel like I'm not. There we go. I think I don't want to do too much more with this because it might start to get a little muddy. These are kind of fun. So anyway, I've been enjoying working on these smaller pieces and kind of just doing a few of them. This was the one I really wanted it to look like a beach and an ocean with the sunrise, and I was not patient about waiting for that to dry, so I kind of lost that idea. I like these these are pretty minimalist, and I think that they, sometimes that's what it requires to just, suggest is just a couple strokes. In fact, I had a instructor one time who suggested warming up by doing like paintings that might have, looking at something like a still life and then trying to paint it in like less than 10 strokes or something, watercolor, and not a large sheet of paper, of course. Well, I suppose you could if your brush was big enough. You might want to. So maybe I'll suggest these as kind of trees or something here. A little too much. And then the cerulean blue was really a challenge for me today. I haven't really used it much, and it's kind of a weaker blue. I love cobalt and ultramarine. I'm kind of partial to those two blues. I don't know what this purple is. Kind of like it. It's pretty bright. I tend to find myself drawn to darker, I don't know why, palettes. I don't know. I love burnt sienna and ultramarine a lot. What can I do up front here? Just a very soft wash of some sort, maybe. Maybe I'll use that cerulean blue again. Well, I like it. As you can see, I worked on this one, when did I work on this? A few minutes ago. It's still so wet. The humidity, it's just not drying. So that's how you can kind of come back in and, put those few details in that kind of take it and help your imagination, I guess, is the way I like to look at it. I like to suggest as opposed to be realistic in my approach. And as Mignonette would say to me, she'd probably, I think last week I mentioned that I had a professor who would, when we were in our watercolor painting class in Italy, this was in grad school, way in the 1990s, a long time ago, and she would stop us. She would bop us on the head with her hat and say, "Stop, that's enough." And it's true. I talked about that last week a little bit, that, you know, it's so easy to overwork watercolors. I guess I'm sort of suggesting reflections here. That one's done. I better stop. I think I'm just going to stop. These are so wet. I can't really, maybe I can work into this one a little bit too. This is my burnt sienna and ultramarine one. I think I have a touch of the quinacridone red in here too. What am I looking at here? What is this? Is this a landscape? This is an interesting little artifact over here. I don't know what it is. Shoot, wrong red. Once again, I keep going in the wrong red. Not that it's wrong, it's just not the red I wanted to use today. I don't know what this is. I'm just putting some blocks of color in here and trying to get some depth. I don't know what it is. I don't know what that is. I think I'll stop on that. I don't really like that, but I don't know what it is. It's probably too dry to take that up. Oh, well, just leave it at that. I'm going to probably get some backwash in here that I might not like. Oh, maybe it's the suggestion of something like a ruin. I think that you are, you're a grape guy. You're a grape kind of guy because you saw grapes last week too, Joey. Joey equals, it's a garden among ruins. Yeah, I think that's the direction I was headed. Okay, yeah. This is really something, the yellow and that cerulean blue, how they make that really pretty acidy green. Maybe I can come over to this one. I painted it this way. I think I like it this way the best. I guess I'm a flatlander here in Michigan, as they say, but maybe I'll make this a mountain. We have some mountains in Michigan. They're called the Porcupine Mountains in the Upper Peninsula. I don't know what the elevation is. It's probably not much, comparatively speaking, to the west. I don't know what this red is. Maybe it's flowers or something in the foreground here. That one's done. See, I better leave this one alone. I'm not making masterpieces, but maybe I just better stop. What else? What else? I've done 8 of these today. And I think I like these ones where I laid down some water first and then I put the color in. I like those better. They're looser. That would be this one. This one. This is very soft. A water, weeping willows maybe, or something. I did this one the same way too, but I used a slightly different palette. I like that. Let's see, which other one? Oh, I did this one, but I didn't work back into this one. I could do that. And then these earlier ones, I did washes over them. They're still really, really wet. And I think they're heavier and, I don't know, like that. It's got atmosphere, but I think it's a little muddy. I like this one just like that. But those were the ones with the washes first. This, I laid down the water first and then brought color in. I like that approach. I think I'm gonna kind of stick with that. Do a little bit more on this one, and then I guess that's gonna wrap it up, and I'll be back on Saturday. And then I'll be here next week, Wednesday, and then heading up to the Traverse City area in northern Michigan for not a week, but a few days with the whole fam. And my granddaughter, my 2 daughters. And, oh, I like that. That's kind of looking nice. Oh, thank you for equals for the highest point of the porcupines. Yes, we do call them the porkies. 1,956 feet above sea level. It's very beautiful up there. It's pretty remote. It gets pretty cold up there. Well, it got pretty cold here this year too. Am I gonna do too much if I suggest a few more leaves in here or something? I don't think so. I think it's probably going to be okay. It'll dry a little bit later. Almost could be an early spring in Michigan here with this way this painting looks. Anyway, from where I live to get up to the Porcupine Mountains, it's a you know what? You can get to halfway to Florida from here the same distance to get up to the Porcupine Mountains and the Upper Peninsula, Bay Furnace, and um, Houghton, all that area up there. It is a long way away from southern Michigan. This could be spring or fall color here. If I could mix a little orange up. Let's do it. I don't want to think about fall, to be honest with you. I really don't want to think about fall. Uh, it feels like we just got to summer here in Michigan. Oh, I know what I haven't told anybody about was that we lost our power on Friday, and we didn't get it back until Monday night about 6 o'clock. About 5:30 Friday all the way till Monday night at 6 o'clock. There was a big thunderstorm that came through here, and it was extremely hot last week. You remember last week, if you were here on Wednesday, my fan was droning in the background full speed because it was so hot. I do have it on today, but it's not on as loud, I hope. And I was mumbling earlier, so my apologies. So I like the way some of these turned out. I like that one. I think this one turned out well. These suggesting, I don't know, I like suggesting landscapes. This is nice. It looks kind of like water and stuff. I could have come back in with some darker darks in some of these. And then, I don't know, these are, I really wanted to do more with this one, but I don't really know what to do with this one. It's still pretty wet. I like this one. I like the way I erased a little bit of the paint in there, kind of. You know, I tried to pull some of it out with my brush. This one kind of looks like a landscape. It's a little bit muddy, but not too bad. And then I like the way I started to make some clouds there. I feel like this side didn't, I needed to do more with that. And maybe I still will. And then I'm gonna wrap it up. And I wanna say thank you so much. You know, I forget when I get going here to thank people for coming here and being on my channel. My channel has been gaining a few subscribers every, I don't know, few days. I've been getting some subscribers, and I so appreciate you for joining my channel. It means a lot to me that people are coming and looking at what I'm doing, and I hope I'm inspiring people to, you know, try doing some painting themselves or making some art in some way. And anyway, I'm very appreciative of comments and people being here. So thank you so much for that. And I will be back soon. Next, well, Saturday I'll be here. And on Saturdays I do my, I actually kind of like this. I think I'm switching gears here. I was just saying that Saturday I like to work on my mixed media panels. I think that a little bit of this yellow wash on here is helping this piece. I think it helped give it a better atmosphere. So anyway, thank you sincerely for being here and joining me as I play around with these watercolors and my mixed media things. So Saturday, thank you for asking what time. I've been doing 2 o'clock, but I'm thinking I would rather move it up to 1 o'clock in the afternoon, so I will probably be here at 1 o'clock Eastern time this Saturday. So let's see, should I zoom out and show everything here at the end that we've accomplished? I'm gonna see if I can, let's see. Is that everybody in there? Everybody get in line. Okay, thank you Equals. And I do want to give a shout out to Equals. Go visit his channel for some very interesting process music, experimental music. So I do process art, and Joey is over there doing process music creation, experimental, very interesting, along with videos. So shout out to Equals. And once again, thank you for being here. And I will see you on Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time for some mixed media work.